Imagine it's Tuesday morning in London. A mom orders fresh fruits and expects it before noon. In Los Angeles, a small retailer needs replacement with phone batteries to open for customer. Two very different cities, same promise, same day delivery. At Echo Route headquarters, the operation dashboard lights up. The London job requires a vehicle that can enter urban low emission zones. The Los Angeles job must meet California's evolving clean truck rule. At the same time, a vendor calls. New tariffs on imported batteries have pushed fleet replacement costs up overnight. On the streets, a competitor's van glides by, their route fine-tuned by AI. Fewer miles, fewer charges, faster drop-off. Echo Route built its name on affordable, same-day service and promise to reduce environmental impacts. But today, reality is harsh. Trade policy is making green tech pricier. Cities are slamming doors on high-emission vehicles, and customers still went upset. This dilemma questions: can a company be fast, green, and affordable when challenges hit in different directions?
Now, let's look at how Echo Logistics can adapt different sourcing and fleet management strategies to reduce impact of tariff on imported electric vehicles. I would like us to know that the European Union has different trade agreements, and Echo Logistics can utilize some of it. First, they can implement a trade policy like generalized scheme of preference. What does it tell us? This basically ensures partial or full removal of custom duties on 2/3 of tariff lines. The generalized scheme slashes some tariff to 0% for vulnerable or low-income countries. Echo Logistics can utilize this. They can start procuring some of their batteries from countries who accept or who make use of a policy like generalized scheme of preference. For instance, Indonesia is a manufacturing hub for batteries, and Indonesia with some other Asian countries except China, because US has placed a 25% tariff of any imported goods from China, but other countries like Indonesia and other Asian countries can be utilized because they are into trade policy like generalized scheme of preference. So Echo Logistics can utilize that. Second, we can look at the multilateral and plurilateral negotiation on goods and services. The World Trade Organization members and European Union have joined the ITA, that is, Information Technology Agreement, which provides duty-free access to IT products, including computers, telephones, inputs like semiconductors. The aim of ITA is to digitalize every sector. A company like Echo Logistics, who uses electric vehicles, can utilize this because ITA provides duty-free access to technological imports. This is a good policy that Echo Logistics can adapt to. Another trade policy that Echo Logistics can adapt is a bilateral negotiation on goods and services. Here, association agreements can be made with countries in the European Union and in countries in North America. For example, there can be a free trade area in some goods and services, imported and exported. Here are some fleet strategies that Echo Logistics can adapt. One, let's look at diversification of fleet. That is, they can adapt hybrid fleet adoption. Instead of using only electric vehicle, what about cargo bikes, which uses zero energy? So that is an option they can consider. They can look at adopting hybrid fleets. For example, their electric vehicles and cargo bikes can be used in emission zones and congestion charges areas. This will help them balance everything. Also, they can adopt battery leasing strategy and swipe model. Here, Echo Logistics pay for used batteries instead of full battery ownership. And lastly, they can leverage recycling and second life battery usage. With all these strategies, the impact of tariff will be reduced on Eco-route logistics operations.
AI is one of the most accurate tools used for forecasting based on concrete data. Balancing cost efficiency and sustainability in last mile delivery can be made more convenient with proper forecasting and integration of sustainable practices and automatic reduction of cost of last mile delivery. The use of right-size packaging and material optimization during shipments, that is, using different types of packaging based on the size, cost, and distance the goods are being shipped to. This makes it easier to explore more sustainable packaging by balancing durability and production with carbon impact. Route and distance analysis. This is also a good way to reduce the carbon footprint of eco-route logistics. AI uses telematics and GPS to plan and organize shipments along the same route. This way, they can all be shipped together, reducing the amount of trips taken to deliver goods along the same route, which minimizes fuel consumption. Companies like Amazon Logistics and UPS use this method, and it has saved an impressive amount of fuel for them annually. Comparison of emission across different last mile delivery options is also a good way of using AI, as it helps determine the most sustainable and suitable option depending on the location and size of the delivery.
Regulation is the invisible guiding or sometimes blocking how it operates. Regulation defines operation, what they can deliver, and at what cost. Now, the core comparison between the two region regulations include policy approach, sustainability push, emission zones, delivery time restriction, and congestion pricing. The US policy approach has no framework. Each city or state has its own rule book. It has just few emerging areas with emission zones like the California Advanced Clear Truck Rule and New York City congestion pricing, which will be rolling out in 2025 as the first of its kind in US to mimic the EU style restriction. Congestion pricing will only affect trucks entering Manhattan. As part of US regulatory approach, it is incentive based, requiring tax credits and subsidies under Inflation Reduction Act. Although some local rules exist as regards night deliveries due to noise ordinances. On the other hand, Europe has standardized policy approach with stricter greener mandates, plus over 300 low emission zones in cities like London, Paris, and Berlin in operation. An example is London Urban Low Emission Zone Charge, which costs €12.50 per non-compliant fare, and congestion charge is widely adopted here, which costs €15 per day. Delivery time restriction is very common in cities like Paris, which restricts delivery trucks in central zones, especially during peak traffic hours. Most importantly, delivery operation in Europe is compliance driven. Fleet must reduce carbon by law. So what does this mean for eco-route logistics? In the US, eco-route must be flexible, adapting to patchworks of local laws, while in Europe, eco-route logistics must meet strict green standards everywhere. In perspective, how can one company remain flexible in the US without falling behind the Europe compliant strict laws? This will lead us to further discussion talking about how eco-routes can navigate regulatory differences without having cost deficiencies and remaining sustainable. To navigate regulatory differences, eco-route logistics should adopt AI-enabled regulatory routing, such as the PTV route optimizers. For example, areas like London with compliant vehicle fees can optimize PTV route optimizer, which can help logistics company in London urban low emission zones to only permit compliant vehicles in restricted zones, thereby increasing delivery reliabilities in cities like London, Paris, and Berlin. Also, regulatory data should be integrated in eco-route logistics platform. Eco-route logistics should partner with local couriers who already carry out city compliance, and this will help to manage their last mile delivery. An example is ISCEA, a logistics company in New York, which can help them manage a same-day delivery and reduce congestion pricing. This partnership We help EcoRoute Logistics reduce costs in managing fleets as they now have external partners. EcoRoute Logistics can also adapt dynamic policy regulatory dashboard, which can serve as a regulatory map to help show different locations, cities, and their regulatory rules.
One of EcoRoute's biggest challenges is balancing ultra-fast same-day delivery with environmental sustainability. At first, this looks like opposite, speed versus green, but EcoRoute can align both. They also face challenges in tariff on imported EV batteries, which make fleets very expensive. While these challenges seem bigger than the company, there are strategies that can be followed to reduce the impact of tariff and carbon emission, while still prioritizing sustainability and speed cost practices. One of the ways is by diversifying their fleet. EcoRoute can implement this by using electric vehicles, hybrid cars, cargo bikes, biofuel trucks to urban and less congested places. This helps to improve speed and also reduce carbon impact without slowing down deliveries. Secondly, by bringing stock closer to customers through micro distribution or city micro hubs. EcoRoute can reduce the distance to which product travel. That means faster deliveries, fewer long van trips, and lower emission centers inside cities. So this cuts long trips and speed up last mile delivery and reduces emissions. Amazon already uses this model successfully. So EcoRoute can also replicate this, but in a greener way. EcoRoute can also restructure their packaging by shifting to lighter, recyclable and biodegradable packaging, and also practice reverse logistics to optimize space, to lower vehicle loads and emissions. Supplier partnerships and flexible delivery, along with other suggestions, are very crucial points to improve EcoRoute challenges in last mile delivery and sustainability practices.
Sustainability equals tangible business, which gives EcoRoute a competitive advantage. Today's market is built heavily on brand image, which means business comes from brand reputation, which makes it easier to build a trusted community. Trusted community equals loyal customers, which equals more sales. Not only does this build customer trust, it also helps EcoRoute build a brand image on its sustainability practices with the use of AI that appeals to an audience with similar values, so to say. For example, fashion brands like H&M and Zara use recyclable materials for producing clothes, which makes them stand out compared to other clothing brands. EcoRoute can optimize this by using AI-powered interactive platforms to allow customers choose their preferred sustainable packaging and delivery option, and creating a fun campaign to create awareness on it. This doesn't just create awareness for the brand, it also makes it fun while being sustainability compliant. While EcoRoute is currently facing challenges, EcoRoute has the potential to be in direct competition with the big names in the industry like Amazon and DHL if these solutions are properly integrated gradually using the short-term, long-term, and medium-term strategy. That is strategically transitioning to using AI for majority of their operations. This progress can be measured using predictive key performance indexes in customer satisfaction increments by about 90%, reducing the delivery cost per order by 15%, 100% adherence to city-level delivery rules, and 30% reduction in CO2 emissions within 3 years, which not only puts them in competition, it makes them the competition. Thank you.